it up next. He's the world's leading expert in personal strength and also a best-selling author. Marcus Buckingham is here with his new book and a test that you can take that will help you discover the role you were born to play. That's coming up.
Well, our next guest knows a thing or two about women. His name is Marcus Buckingham, and he has become a celebrity already thanks to his brand new book.
Find your strongest life, what the happiest and most successful women do differently. Yes, you can read about him on Oprah.com, the Huffington Post, even New York Times columnist Maureen Dowd wrote about you. You're quite the guy, Marcus Buckingham. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here.
And I think, you know, we all kind of said this. We said, how does Marcus know so much about women and what we're thinking inside?
Well, my whole focus in my career has been focusing on people who are doing things really well. So I studied great managers, great housekeepers, great doctors. For this project, I was like, let's study women who have figured it out. Let's go and interview the people that are bucking the trend, are getting happier as they get older.
Now, do you notice one common theme amongst all of the women as a whole?
Yeah, and it's different from men. If women basically are harder on themselves than men. If you ask men what would make you happy and successful, building on your strengths or fixing your weaknesses, 50% of men say one and the other. If you ask women that question, 73% of women say fix my weaknesses.
Interesting.
They spend their entire lives characterizing themselves by who they aren't.
Yeah.
So you just recently did a workshop for Oprah.
Yeah.
Almost 2 million people downloaded the workshop video.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you know, successful women, she's pretty much at the top of the game, Oprah Winfrey. What is something like somebody like her, for instance? Where does she fall into the category
what was so amazing about this, we did this workshop, it was 3 hours. It was for women who were talented but unfulfilled. She's a teacher. I mean, she sat, not only did she sit through the whole 3-hour workshop, after I left, she stayed for 45 more minutes just to teach the women that were there the lessons that she'd learned throughout her career. That's where she gets most of her thrills and her satisfaction, as a teacher.
But I sometimes look at it and I say, I'm not seeing very much a happy person there. I'm seeing a very successful person, a giver and that kind of stuff, but deep down inside, especially when she does her weight struggles and that kind of stuff, that's not really a totally happy person.
He's looking into Oprah's soul.
Yes, I'm looking deeper. I'm peeling the layers
Marcus.
of the onion, you know?
I haven't looked into Oprah's soul, but I would say that when you look at what she derives satisfaction from, I think, although she may have other struggles that she deals with, as we all do, I think she knows on some deep level what it is about life that fulfills her. And I think as far as she can, she's focused her career and her personal life around that.
Yeah, you do say that successful women tend to sweat the small stuff the most often. You know, we are the hardest on ourselves. Is that the one thing that, again, broadly, that if you could give advice to all women, you would tell us to stop doing?
No, if you actually study the women that are happiest, they've figured out how to dive into, like if you want to be a great mom, when you study the great women, they haven't said, I want to be a perfect mom. They've gone, what is the details of being a mom that I get the most enjoyment from? So I had one come to me and say, what got my life back on track was when I worked out, I don't like playing with my kids. My daughter comes to me and says, let's play dress up. You be the mommy and I'll be the baby. And I'm like, I am the mommy, you are the baby. I don't want to get satisfaction out of being on all fours playing with the kids. I want to teach my kids something. So you got to sweat the small stuff of being a mom or a sister or an employee. Dive into the details of the moments that invigorate you the most. Those moments will fill you up, not plans, not goals.
So what are some of the other things that you revealed about the difference between women that end up being very successful and other women that are striving to get there? What is the disconnect there? Where some women feel they can never aspire to be that or to get there?
Well, one of the things we found out, I thought we would find women that are successful are great jugglers. I mean, that's the cliche, right? That you're able to keep everything in the end.
Yeah.
But if you think about that analogy, the core skill of juggling is throwing, not catching. So if you spend your entire life as a great juggler, you never really hold on to any moment in life long enough to really feel it. You keep everything at bay. So they don't juggle, and then they don't. The other surprise was they didn't talk much about balance. I thought everything would be like make everything balanced, but actually they seem to identify the moments that they want to have in each part of their life, and then deliberately imbalance their life toward those moments. It's like they're deliberately pushing their life towards some moments that invigorate them and away from others. That doesn't lead to a balanced life, but it leads to a
Your personal balance.
Now, when you're talking, though, you're talking sometimes about, you know, women like Oprah and that kind of stuff, and her name seems to be coming up quite often and that sort of thing. But how do you start? Oprah can push her life towards possibly her imbalance of maybe her TV career or whatever, because she's got 20 other people behind her taking care of her laundry, her dogs, and everything. But when you're just starting out and you're a single woman, maybe a single mom, you don't have Team Oprah behind you.
Right.
You got to do that balance and juggling in order to be able to push towards.
Yeah, but I think you start start with the small moments. So on your website, actually, on KTLA.com, there's a test called the Strong Life Test. And if you take it, it'll measure you on 9 life roles and help you pinpoint what are the specific moments in life that you can draw strength from or fulfillment from. So the way you start, when you looked at these women, they didn't just transform their lives into, you know, now I'm here, now I'm Oprah. It wasn't like that. It was a gradual process of going week by week, what are the moments that I want to tilt my life toward? And if you take stronglifetest.com, it'll help you figure out what are those moments. Are you a teacher? Are you a creator? Which I think your one was.
Yes, I was a creator. And it's really interesting because then it tells you what kind of things that you're good at and areas that you should look into. Marcus Buckingham, thank you so much. Your book is available at all major bookstores. Find your strongest life. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Thank you, Marcus.
I love Cheers. I'm going to use Cheers. Cheers. I love that.
Let's
send it to Emmett, who's with some...